Let me show you how to tune your 808 so that it fits in the key of your song so that it doesn't sound like it's misplaced or that you don't really know what you're doing. This isn't really something that is optional. This is kind of like fundamentals of music theory, so the quicker you understand this, the better it is that you will start producing. Okay, so when we're tuning our 808s, you'll notice that if you download a sample pack or you'll get 808s from somewhere, that sample is going to be tuned to a certain note. It might say G sharp, it might say C, it might say E, D, whatever. All sample packs are different and they include different notes within them. And so the problem with this is when you pull your sample into a sampler, it doesn't mean that everything is lined up in your keyboard perfectly. So if you play, say, your home note, usually that's a C3. So if you play this home note, you would expect it to play C, but that's not really what happens because the sample is tuned to D in this example, right? So every time you're hitting this home note, it's actually playing a D, and that's going to confuse you if you don't understand this. So what we have to do is we have to take the sample and we have to tune it accordingly to our keyboard, and how you do that is with semitones. So semitones is something that will probably pop up in your sampler, and what a semitone is it's each individual note that is on that keyboard. So this white note is a semitone, this black note is a semitone, this white note is a semitone, black note is a semitone. Each note is a semitone. So if in this example, if our note is on D, in order to get to C, how many semitones do you have to take in order to make that fit? You have to go 1, 2. But since we're going left, it's going backwards, so we're negative. So to get from D to be on C when we hit our home note, you have to tune it -2 semitones. When you tune it -2 semitones, what you're doing is you're taking this note and you're going 1, 2. So now that we've tuned it so that this note of the sample is on our home note, now the rest of the notes on your keyboard will coincide and it'll play properly. Okay, so again, if you have a sample that's D and you plug it straight into your sampler, when you hit C, it's going to play D because that's what the sample is tuned to. So you're going to have to retune it so that it matches your keyboard. And we go 1, 2. -2 semitones to get from D to C so that everything lands properly. Now let me show you how to do this in the DAW. Like I was saying, when you download a sample pack, you get a pack full of 808s, right? And there's a whole different array of different tunings. Look, there's B, A sharp, G sharp, G sharp, F. It all comes in a bunch of different tunings. And so in order to tune it so that it matches your keyboard, you're going to have to do this. Look, if I have, let's say this 808, as soon as I pull it in, you can see it's still tuned to E. This is what it sounds like. So I'm going to switch over and I'm going to show you that I'm going to hit this note right here, which is the C. And you can see that it's the exact same tuning as the sample, which means it's playing in E. So in order to get this to be tuned properly, what we got to do is first we got to warp it, because when you warp it, you're stretching the time. Because essentially when you tune a sample, it plays it shorter or it plays it quicker. So to retain the same length as the original, you want to warp it. And then essentially this is how it goes. So this is the note we want to tune the E to. So essentially we're at E right now. That's what the sample's at. And we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones down. So when you go left, you go 4. When you go negative, when you go up, you go positive. So as you can tell right here, semitones, transpose, semitones. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4. So now when I hit this, it's tuned to C, right? Because this is E. That's the original sample. This is the new tuning. Okay, so now we're tuned to C, and you can check this by going to and pulling up a tuner, plugging in here, and we have a C. This was the original tuning, right? We just tuned it down to C by transposing down 4 semitones, because again, it takes 4 keys, 1, 2, 3, 4, to hit the home key, which is C3. So I hope this was helpful.
This is how you tune your 808s. You're going to want to do this to all your 808s that you decide to play on the keyboard, or you just have to tune it in general if you are going to play it to whatever project you have. I hope this was helpful, and if you haven't yet, check out the free training that is in the description. It's talking about producing beats that attract artists and getting high-ticket clients. So if you want to turn your hobby into a career, this is a great place to start. There's a lot of information, and we go in-depth and high-ticket in there. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.